Hello, everybody, and welcome to the season finale of HTF Bets, our live Thursday show here on the Hitting the Field Network. It's crazy to believe that we've already flown through a semester and on our last episode of the year, but you better believe that my boys and I have saved the very best for last, so don't go anywhere because HTF Bets starts now. You're one of the boys too, Kelly. Welcome back, Riley Sheppard, Luka Costa, and Jeffery Laux, and joining us for her first time since the first episode of the semester, Kellie Campbell. How are you doing, Kelly?
I'm doing good. I really wanted to be here for the first and last episode of the semester, so happy I could be.
And as a big football person, we have a lot of football to talk about.
Both kinds of football.
Both kinds of football. Starting with, Jeff, you had our beast for this week.
Yes, sir, and I just had to give the homer pick out, Jacoby Brissett. I mean, he gave everything for this franchise. If you bring a backup QB in, you know, it's not Geno Smith or Jacoby Brissett as usual, and they have balled this year. And, I honestly believe that Jacoby Brissett has, given anything for this franchise that they told him, hey, you're done after 11 games. Deshaun Watson's coming back. You're done. You're a bench role player. He still went out there at 11 games, had a 64% throwing, 2,600 yards, 12 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. That is great. That is better than Baker Mayfield ever gave us. I know he beat the Steelers in the playoffs, but Jacoby Brissett is a mentally stable quarterback and knows what he wants to do with the football. Kevin Stefanski's yo, don't do this, don't overextend. And he does everything that they ask him to do. I mean, he's a guy that he appreciates the moment. He's someone that we can all relate to. So that's why I'm really a fan.
Kelly, the Browns record aside, how have you thought Brissett has done filling in for Deshaun Watson?
I thought he's done a really great job. I mean, considering the situation that he had to come into, I know the Browns are okay, you're done. It's 11 games, you're done. But also, here's the thing. Guess what? Injuries still exist. Bad plays still exist. Deshaun Watson hasn't played a game in 700 days.
Exactly.
What if he sucks?
Exactly.
What if he's horrible?
I feel
what
like
if
nobody's
the pressure of
talking
the fans gets to him and he just sucks and you want to stay with Brissett? Jeff, you said he's a mentally stable quarterback. Would you not want to keep the mentally stable quarterback?
Yeah.
I mean, we still have time to figure out how the new starting QB is going to turn out for the Browns.
I think what's interesting is the Browns are likely out of the playoff picture.
I'm just being a homer right now.
We
have a chance. We have a chance. We play the Bengals, play the Ravens, play the Steelers. The only team that's beating us out of all those is the Ravens, and the Ravens are always our big brother right now.
Tough schedule, yeah.
But Luka, okay, so Brissett is an unrestricted free agent this offseason.
Yeah.
How much does he deserve, and what team do you think he fits in well the most?
I mean, in terms of deserving, we know Jacoby Brissett, like you said, sadly he is a backup. He's no Geno Smith,
Cap.
Well, no,
Cap.
no, I'm not. That's not to disrespect Jacoby Brissett. That's just because
Geno
been balling.
If you cover up the win-loss record, bro, they have the same stats.
And I don't think the record has nothing to do with Brissett.
Luka, also his QBR is 105.7 in the last 5 games.
And
he's been having an insane past couple
I saw
weeks.
this before the show. His PFF is better than Lamar, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady right now.
That's crazy.
Which, depending with Rodgers and Brady's season and how they played, I don't know if that's saying much. But
I feel that.
What team do you think? Okay, let me ask you this first. What team do you think he fits in well with the most, either as a backup or a starting quarterback next season?
Honestly, as a Panthers fan, I'm maybe he could go to the Panthers.
Okay.
But
Against his old behind Baker again?
Luka, listen,
okay.
I'm going to say the Panthers love to take people's used goods, like Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold and whoever they took from Ole Miss. That's never going to be good because he's never going to heal. So part of me is maybe he'll work, but also I don't think any secondhand quarterback, not secondhand, but they've been in the league for too long.
Yeah.
They're not going to get any better.
But somebody that is not a secondhand anything, especially this past weekend, Josh Jacobs.
Oh my God.
Las Vegas Raiders running back set a franchise record with rushing yards, 229, over 300 yards total from scrimmage, and had the game-winning overtime touchdown. Jeff, talk about this performance.
As a fantasy, football guy, I drafted this man a lot this year, and he's
Got him on my
been
team,
very, very disappointing. But the Raiders are starting to click in, 45 points? I was like, God,
a
dang.
shootout.
He brought me all the way around. Some guy had Josh Allen this week, and but
But not this week that just passed, but the week before last, right? Even before then, he was on a tear. Like, he was on a 3-4 game tear where he was averaging like 32 points of fantasy average. Trust me, I played him a couple times, a couple different leagues. You know, I got tore up by Josh Jacobs, but yeah, no, he's been balling. For him to get that 86 game winning TD, bro, and that was a game and a half. Like, that was a super good game, and I honestly don't think there was any other way for that game to end, especially with that Raiders run off. The Raiders are a great team when they run the ball. Yeah. I'm not gonna. It's just their defense lets them down all the time. You know.
Yeah, and this has been a career year for Jacobs. With that game, surpassed his season high in yards. He's at 1,159 yards through 11 games, already a career high.
What does that put him on the rushing leaderboard? Do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head. Kelly. Josh Jacobs is also an unrestricted free agent. I think this is going to be a very interesting free agency cycle. I mean, the Raiders have to pay him, right?
Yeah, I definitely think
They have
so.
to.
The Raiders haven't had anything going for them like this in a long time. And to see him be so consistent in the past few games, and he's really popping off. He is, Luka, to answer your question, number one, by the way.
Okay.
So
yeah, I just looked it up. Yep, he is.
Yeah, so to the Raiders, if they want to be successful, if they want to have anything going for them, I think they need to keep him around and they need to give that man his money.
AFC Offensive Player of the Week. He's only earning $2 million this year, still on that rookie contract.
He needs max.
How much does he deserve?
I feel like running backs don't get paid what they are really deserved unless they're a Derrick Henry, a Chubb, one of these like game changers. And I think Josh Jacobs is a game changer, but the Raiders, they're a dysfunctional franchise. And you've seen that with Amari Cooper. They had a star wide receiver, traded him out. I mean, they get guys like Khalil Mack, trade him out. Like, I just don't understand what the Raiders franchise does. Like,
you know what they do? They keep paying Derek Carr. That's the problem. He's been one of the highest paid NFLs the last 5 years. He's been one of the highest paid NFL quarterbacks. That's the problem. Once they stop paying Derek Carr, they will be okay.
And a quarterback that is making a lot of money is Lamar Jackson, but the Baltimore Ravens have not been playing well especially the past 2 weeks, especially in the red zone. Their red zone offense, they have gone 3-9 in the red zone in the last 2 games, including 2 of 5 in their Sunday loss against the Jacksonville Jaguars. What is going on in Baltimore?
I loved watching that because usually when I watch Jacksonville games, they're usually getting crushed at home and the fans are just all sad. But Clownsville was popping. I mean,
they popped out.
I mean, I'm gonna talk about it later in the show. JaMychal Hasty, he came out and he was a dual threat.
He was
a dual threat.
Bro,
but the thing is like the Baltimore Ravens, they're really like falling apart, as you see like on Twitter with Lamar Jackson, him going back and forth with fans, like fans, discrediting him.
I'm not gonna lie to you, that, by the way, ESPN is wrong for that. They literally took his words and they altered it. But that's a topic for another thing. But Lamar Jackson did not use any type of language like that. That's the second time he's been misquoted by ESPN.
Kelly, the Baltimore Ravens, they're tied right now in the AFC North. They do hold the tiebreaker over the Bengals. Are the Ravens going to win a playoff game? Do you think they have a chance in the AFC?
Oh gosh, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little worried about the Bengals game. They're both teams are kind of struggling. Well, I mean, the Bengals are kind of doing better than they have recently. But if the Bengals are on that day and Lamar is having his like recent troubles that he's had, I mean, he was 3 for 9 in the red zone in the last 2 games.
Yep.
He's my fantasy quarterback. I am hurting. You know who my backup is? Tom Brady. It's not good. It's not good for me.
I have a wild question for all of y'all, and I need to know. Would you replace Tua Tagovailoa with Lamar Jackson next season?
Yes.
Everyone's calling Tua MVP. He is carried by his wide receivers.
Listen. I'm telling you, I am a Tua hater. I did not like Tua when he first came into the league, but I promise you, he has been balling. The numbers don't lie, bro.
Right.
I promise you, behind Patrick Mahomes and maybe 2 other quarterbacks, Tua is literally top 5 in the NFL right now. And bro, Tyreek Hill said himself, Tua is a more accurate quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. He literally said it in an interview. He literally confessed that.
You still see it on the strong arm balls, though, man. He's still struggling to get it out there, and that's what you need. But he has to throw it short to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. He needs to do like short, low RPOs. He can't do those long bombs.
But listen, it doesn't matter, bro. You don't got to go long all the time if your wide receiver is always open on a 5-yard in. It doesn't matter.
But imagine having Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and a running threat and passing threat and Lamar Jackson. It would be ridiculous, man.
I mean, that's true.
Kelly, if you're a GM, who would you rather take right now, Lamar or Tua?
I mean, I would take Lamar just because of
right now,
the past
for
few
sure.
years. I grew up in Miami, so I mean, it is fun when Miami does well because people are in a better mood down there. But I would take Lamar for sure because I think he has proven success in the league. He's having a little bit of a hiccup right now, but that's fine. I mean, he's been pretty successful most of his NFL career. I think he would fit in actually really nicely with the Dolphins, with Waddle and with Tyreek Hill. I'm like getting like happy like thinking about it. So I don't know. Let me not get my hopes up.
With that being said, we do need to toss you a quick commercial break, but don't go anywhere because Jeff is heading over to the green screen to give you his top 5 ad drops heading into Week 13.
HTF Hot Takes. I'm Johnny Jackson. We've got Emily Aaron to my right and Luka Costa to my left.
Hello and welcome to our segment of Hot Ones. I'm here with Noah Kemper and Grant
Wheeler.
Yep, I knew that. Grant Wheeler.
Listen, I'm a Bulls fan, but I just can't ever argue against LeBron. I watched him my whole life.
I've been going back and forth with this debate for a long time. It's got to be Michael Jordan.
Whatever she wanted. I would wake up in a maid costume for Doja Cat.
Brutal.
Jeffery Laux, no question.
Richie, I would give it to Richie.
It is not Richie. It is not Richie.
No, it's Jeff.
Richie's pronouns are he, they, because he cannot be him.
What?
Oh, wait a second.
I'm gonna have to also agree and say Jeff. He always is spiffy.
It might be Cameron. Cameron's had some good fits.
Out of the women, Norelli always dresses really, really cute.
Oh, brother. That went so awful.
It's basketball.
College football, I think, is the best sport to watch.
If you don't like soccer, it's because you suck at it.
I think college football is the best.
Thanks for watching.
Welcome back, and we actually just had some breaking news in the World Cup. Luka wanted to talk about Morocco.
Indeed, I'm going to talk about Morocco. You know, they beat Belgium 2-0, a couple of days ago. Belgium's this number 2 ranked team by FIFA right now. Morocco is 22nd. KDB and Eden Hazard have not performing. And then breaking news that just came in, Morocco just won the group with the World Cup runner-up Croatia in the group. And like I said, number 2 ranked Belgium. You know, performances by Hakim Ziyech, Achraf Hakimi, Mazraoui, Boufal have led their team to success, and looks like they're going into the knockout stages. So it looks like we can, expect something out of them. And if we can, maybe Jeff can give us some insight about Morocco, because I know his boy is Moroccan, and I know he's been rooting for them. So go ahead and give me some insight on that, Jeff. What do you think?
Hey man, we're back over at the ad drop screen, but we're gonna talk about some soccer first because, like you said, Morocco won, and shout out to the Moroccans because that nation is probably going crazy right now. Like USA was going crazy after we just beat Iran, but when they just won this, my boy just texted me, Ismail, if you're watching this, shout out to your team. I'm so happy for them, and like it's great to beat Belgium, a team that's grown and has a lot of leadership. It really shows that Morocco is taking the next step. Yeah. But let's get into the ad drops, gentlemen. So first on the list today, I am going with another homer pick, but it is the smart pick, Donovan Peoples-Jones. And let me talk to you about this man. He's only owned in 42% of the ESPN leagues, but he's had a 7-game streak of at least 50 yards per game. That's giving you at least 9 points every single game. And now he gets back a potential superstar QB to throw to him instead of a backup role QB in Jacoby Brissett. His stats right now read out as 42 receptions, 593 yards, and then 1 touchdown. The touchdowns have been alarming, but he's been near the end zone, and he's gotten a lot of PIs in the end zone. He's had 2 actually already. So the second, we're going with who I just talked about, JaMycal Hasty, because he just put the beating on the Ravens, and thank you. As an AFC North fan, thank you, because now they lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars. That tiebreaker is ouch. So JaMycal Hasty, he's only owned in 3% of ESPN leagues. You need to get him right now, because I don't think Travis Etienne is going to be back this week or next week. They're possibly going to rest him for the season like they did last season. So we're going to have to see. He has an explosive offense around him. T-Law is just exploding. He looks way better than he did his rookie year with Urban Meyer. They look like a way better offense. His stats right now are at 12 rushes, 28 yards, and then 5 receptions, 67 yards, and a touchdown against the Ravens. He balled out, and he got a lot of points this past week. Third, we're going to talk the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Mike White. Ooh. This man is only owning 2.5% of his ESPN leagues, and you need to add this man ASAP, especially if you had a Russell Wilson or a dud of a QB this year.
Or Lamar Jackson in Kellie's case.
Kelly, would you pick up Mike White over Tom Brady right now?
No.
Mike White, let me tell you about this man.
No.
Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, and Tyler Conklin are all going to love this man because Zach Wilson did not get them the ball. And that's why Elijah Moore wanted to leave early this season. He did not get them the ball. But Mike White makes sure of it. You know, his stats right now against Chicago this past week was 22 for 28, 315 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions on a 149.3 yard QB rating. That is crazy. So I think Mike White is a huge ad. Do you guys feel that way about Mike White, or am I just being out of pocket?
I mean, not to be dramatic, but right now Mike White is on pace for over 50 if he were to play a 17-league season or 17-game season, 50 touchdowns, no interceptions, and 5,000 yards. I like those chances. I like that.
I'll take my odds. Yeah.
Jeff, really quick, are they going to ride with Mike White over?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, Zach Wilson lost his locker room. You saw it after the Patriots game. They could not move the ball at all. I mean, it was not a fun game to watch. I watched it with my boy because he's a diehard Patriots fan. I'm like, dude, both offenses suck. Mac Jones is mid, and Zach Wilson just looks lost out there.
Bailey Zapp.
With Mike White, the Jets are on a mission, and the AFC East is so scary. It's ridiculous. And I'm thankful as a Browns fan we don't have to play them anymore because we went 0-4 against the AFC East this year. It is brutal, man. It is brutal out here.
That's a surprise, yo.
But we're going to move on to my drops. And you know, the second one might be controversial, but the first one shouldn't be. I know tight ends are slim, but Robert Tonyan needs to go.
Yeah,
I mean, over the past matches, he's only gotten, 18 targets and on 14 catches and no touchdowns at all. He's only earned over 6 points once this season. That man is not a priority in that offense anymore. Christian Watson, there's a lot more things going for that Packers dysfunctional offense. So you got to drop him. He's owned in 34% of leagues. It's probably going down by now. Just keep on doing it. Cooper Kupp, you're the next one. And that's not because of your talent or your skill. It's because you are injured. And the Rams are not looking hot right now. They have Perkins starting at QB, Stafford on the bench, ailing from an injury. I think Cooper Kupp, you could slide him to IR spot, because maybe you're nervous, maybe he comes back. But right now he's looking at 6 to 8 weeks, the high ankle sprain. Yeah. I think Sean McVay is going to call it wraps on the season for him. He's too special of a talent. When he was in, he had 75 receptions, 812 yards, and 6 touchdowns. He was having a great season, so I understand why you don't want to drop him, but I think it's time.
Yeah, that Cooper Kupp one hurts the most. I have him on my IR right now, but I think you're right. I think it's time to drop him. The Rams aren't playing for anything at this point in the season, so if you have Cooper Kupp on Kelly, what do you want to fight Jeff about his list?
About his list?
Oh boy, here we go.
Nothing.
Set off the fire alarms.
Sorry, Jeff. I don't know. I mean, about the list that he just did right there.
Yeah.
I mean, Donovan Peoples-Jones is a wide receiver on that team, so you can go ahead, Kelly. It's okay.
Is there anything you disagree with about Jeff's list?
I don't know. I told myself I would let Jeff have a really nice episode before the end of the semester. So how about you guys go first, and then let me collect my thoughts.
All right, so I'm gonna go. Basically the only thing I do not disagree with, the only thing I think could be a little bit on and off is Donovan Peoples-Jones, because we haven't seen Deshaun Watson play in so long.
Yeah.
And I do feel like that's something that a lot of people are not talking about. Like, dude, this guy could literally suck. Like, he could come back and be horrible. Like, I don't think anyone's really processed that he has not played an NFL game in over 2 years. Like, but other than that, I do agree with, honestly, every person on your list. Jeffery Laux, I watched that Jags game. He absolutely balled out. Mike White has a lot to play for. He wants to make a name for himself. He doesn't want to sit behind Zach Wilson again. All he's done is do that since he's been there, and I don't think he wants to do that anymore. I have Robert Tonyan and Cooper Kupp in 2 separate leagues, so you know what? I'm not even gonna argue with that one. RIP Cooper Kupp, RIP the Rams. Don't I think I learned I'm not taking a wide receiver anymore. I'm just gonna stick to my running backs.
The one thing, Donovan Peoples-Jones, I think you brought up a good point. We've seen how different wide receivers will play with the Jets, for example. I mean, they went from Joe Flacco to Zach Wilson to now the man, the myth, the legend, Mike White, MVP Mike White, the GOAT Mike White. Do you think Watson coming back can change Peoples-Jones's production?
110%. I mean, he balled out with Baker
Good
Mayfield
or bad?
in his worst season. I mean,
Yeah.
It's all media speculation, everything that's going around about Deshaun Watson. But if you watch his highlight tape and take the person from the actual player, he played excellent in the 4-12 season. Like, if they had a decent team around him, they would have went far. They sold off DeAndre Hopkins. They sold multiple players. They had no running back help. We have Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. We have an offensive line that is willing to go out there and bust some butt. So, I really think people are sleeping on the surrounding cast for a rusty QB coming back.
Yeah.
Well, I also think that we were chatting about this before the show started, and the question is, his first game back is in Houston. That's going to be a highly emotional game for
Exactly.
for
The
a lot
NFL
of
is
people.
so, come on, that's set up.
The
Roger
12th, okay, but also it's like the 12th man thing is so very much a thing. Even with the horrible, terrible, stinky Houston
I
Texans.
was saying 13th if you count the ref.
I know, really. They've lost like 6 straight games. We're going to see what happens this weekend. But it's still like the emotion is going to be a huge factor. Like he's coming in an away jersey in his old home stadium. He hasn't touched the field in 2 years. And I don't think, why is he going to throw the ball? He's going to get booed louder than anything he's ever heard in his life when he drops it, or booed even louder when he completes one. So I don't see him having like a good time on Sunday. And I think that's definitely going to get to his head, get to his mental, and to be honest, I hope it does.
Taking really quick, taking a look at our Week 12 fantasy football results. I took a big win over Johnny Jackson, put up 123 points. Where is Jeff? Jeff, you put up 147 against
Browns on Browns
Camden.
prime right there. I'm sorry, Camden. I love you. But
Luka also won to improve his record to 5-7.
Yes,
I'm sorry, Kelly.
No, I actually forget to set my lineup about every Sunday, so my fantasy team is horrible.
Hopefully you don't forget to set your lineup this week because we take on each other in Week 13. Luka, you're
Right, I'm kind of making my way back.
You're sneaking up in the playoff projections, 5-7 right now. And then Jeff, we unfortunately didn't have a chance to talk about our Week 11 matchup. But I did defeat Jeff Laux in Week 11. His record is 9-3. I'm also 9-3. So we will see. Hopefully we get 2, maybe 3 Bets boys. Kelly, I think you're out
I
of-
don't think I'm in the
I don't think
playoffs.
Kelly is gonna. I think Kelly is a lottery team for sure going into next year's fantasy football draft.
Right.
Hopefully we can get 3 Bets boys in the fantasy football playoffs. Only a 4-team race, but we are going to toss to a quick commercial break. But don't go anywhere because we all have some picks of the week to give you. Welcome back, and for the final time this year, we are all giving you our picks of the week, which game we want you to lock in sports betting. Kelly, it's your first time giving a surefire pick of the week since week 1. What is one game you are locking in?
So I'm pretty nervous for this. I don't know what my record was from the last time I did this, but I don't know if I won. So anyways, my surefire pick this week is taking the over on the Bills and Patriots game. It's supposed to be 43.5, and I definitely see it being higher scoring than that. So take the over. Josh Allen's going to have a field day tonight.
And I actually, for my pick, I took the team that they defeated on Thanksgiving. Detroit Lions, of course. Very sad loss. But
Shocker.
I'm not shocked. It was a typical Detroit Lions loss, especially on Thanksgiving. I was expecting it, even though they had, 30 seconds to drive down the field, and they did. But I think the Lions are going to bounce back this week against the Jaguars.
Woo, I said, woo, let's go Lions. Woo.
Yeah.
I like the Lions.
good luck.
They're favored by 1. It's really a pick 'em, but Detroit has covered in the last 4 games that they've played. I think they're gonna cover the 1 point. I think they're gonna win. So basically take money line. Jacksonville's played great the last few weeks, but they've been very inconsistent. So I don't think they're gonna go into Detroit, Ford Field, and defeat the Lions.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead, you go first.
Yes, sir. So we kind of already talked about this already. The Browns at Houston game coming up on this Sunday, 1 p.m. It's something that a Browns fan has looked at for a long time in awe because we finally have a possible franchise QB returning to the table. But I think this game's going to be based off of a rushing attack because Dameon Pierce has been a baller. And Nick Chubb, he's crushing records right now, man. Like, it's his 5th straight 1,000-yard season. I think it's going to be a crazy game. Texans have not won a game since before their bye week on October 9th versus Jacksonville.
He's number 3 in rushing yards, by the way.
Woo! And you know, I love myself some Chubb, you know. All right, but Houston is coming off a really demoralizing loss. I mean, the Miami Dolphins put in their 2nd stringers, and they literally were still doing it to them. I know that they're down 30-0. The team is in shambles right now, just like the team's going to be on shambles on Sunday. I'm taking the Browns to cover the -3 and beat the Houston Texans.
No, for sure. And oh my God, boy, have I been waiting to talk about this game. So there's no money line, no spread out yet for this game. But this is a game. If you watch soccer, you need to watch this game. Uruguay versus Ghana, Friday at 10 a.m. If you know, you know.
Preach.
Last time these two teams played in 2010 World Cup, Luis Suarez had a handball that eliminated Ghana from contention. They were going to win and go to the semifinals, but then Ghana missed their penalty. Ghana, oh my God. Uruguay has not scored a single goal this entire World Cup, while Ghana has played 2 amazing games. You know, barely losing out to Portugal, and then beating out South Korea 3-2. Mohamed Kudus is coming off a 2-goal game. Don't even get me started. That brother is nasty. He had a crazy quote, I'm not going to lie. He said he's better than Neymar, that Neymar just has a bigger name. That's a lie. But he has been balling. Luis Suarez feels absolutely no remorse for the situation. He said, word for word, it is not my fault I didn't miss the penalty. Which, to be honest, at the end of the day, if you play soccer competitively, it's kind of true. You got to do whatever you want to win the game, put it on the line. But this game is a must-watch game. There's so much history behind this game. There's so much momentum behind this game, so much hype. I think that's going to propel the Ghanaian fans and the Ghanaian national team to get this win over Uruguay. Uruguay, like I said, has been struggling, even though they've actually played some very good football and they go into that 4-4-2. That back end of the game against the most recent game, Portugal, they honestly should have won. They played very good the last 15 minutes. But, yeah, I think Ghana just has so much momentum. They have so much stuff propelling them forward, Jeff.
Hey,
Soccer
man,
guy, what do you think?
I'm so hyped because this is like one of my favorite games this week, man. Like you said, the history. I mean, you watch the video again, him literally putting his hand up to block the ball. The most illegal contact in all of soccer you literally just did. Luis Suarez is a whole case in itself. But I agree with you. I think Thomas Partey and Inaki Williams are both going to take apart Uruguay because Uruguay is not starting Facundo Torres. What are you doing?
No, they haven't played him once. I was going to mention that, yeah.
He is world class.
Kelly, so Luis Suarez is a very veteran striker for Uruguay. Just for context, because for people who don't know, so people who don't know, like I said, he handballed the goal off the line, got them a red card, right, and that's an immediate penalty if a handball inside the box. But then Ghana stepped up, right, and they took the penalty and he missed. So because of that, they didn't advance to the quarterfinals. Kelly,
wow.
Do you think Luis Suarez could pull something like this out of his bag again, or do you think Ghana's going to come back with a vengeance against Luis Suarez?
I mean, obviously there's going to be some bad blood just because of the way it worked out last time they played each other. That's still in their brains. They are not going to forget about something like that, especially something so huge and impactful that really changed the course of the entire rest of that series. So I think something like that could definitely happen. We've seen some crazy stuff happening this World Cup series, so it would not surprise me to see some even more wild, out-of-pocket action take place Friday at 10 o'clock.
We have just started World Cup. What has been your favorite game?
My favorite game of the World Cup, if I had to say absolutely one, it was, bro, come on, USA, Iran.
Same,
come on now,
same, let's go.
USA, Iran, come on now.
Yes, sir.
Come on, I had to say US.
Christian Pulisic, the LeBron James of soccer. The LeBron James of soccer.
You could have just said go.
Yes, sir.
You didn't have to say LeBron James.
I don't think there was a better way to finish this season of HTF Bets than Jeff saying some outlandish. I'm not.
Oh yeah, you know.
But that is all the time we have for this season. We will be back in the same spot, just about more or less a month. For Luka Costa, for Jeffery Laux, and for Kellie Campbell, I am Riley Sheppard. We will see you all next year.
Ha ha.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight.